Good morning. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Lake Sunapee Region Chamber's first Summer Education Series workshop. We are going to be talking about all things marketing today. We have a panel of local experts to cover and talk about all of the different styles and mediums of marketing. A lot of our members are tried and true with one or two methods, but we really are encouraging folks to diversify and try something new, especially this summer. So I'm going to pass things over to Amy, who is our committee chair. She'll give a little bit of idea as to what we're looking at for the coming months in summer and what some of the other topics that we're going to be addressing are. So Amy, I'm going to pop it over to you here.
Sure. Thank you, Ashley. Welcome, everyone. My name is Amy Drummond. I am the chair of the education group. I work at North Cape Design. I'm the community strategist. And so thank you for having me. So this summer, we are initiating a 4-part summer education series. The first being today, obviously, which is Marketing Today for Tomorrow. And this is the first of the virtual series. The second will be held in June. We're looking at June 22nd or the 29th, and it'll be, the topic is Travel and Tourism Advantage, and we're hoping that we can have that outside at Sunapee Harbor with some great local speakers and also possibly statewide as well. So that will be coming up in June. The third is on video creation content, and this will be held somewhere, TBD. And I'm not sure whether we're looking at virtual or in person, hopefully in person. And we've got a great speaker, Brett Marshall from Winwood Productions, who will be talking to us about video content creation. And then the fourth and final is students as resources. And this is going to be a 2-part series. And part 1 of this will be held on the 24th of August and probably at Colby Sawyer College. And the second part will follow shortly behind and will be a virtual program. So we're very excited for what's to come this summer and hope we've got great attendance. And thank you for helping us out with our first series. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Amy. We are very excited about our summer season. We have a lot lined up, and hopefully everyone can pop on, join those, and hopefully join us outside and face to face so we can actually see people. But really quickly, before we hit up our first panelist, we just quickly want to mention some of the chamber benefits. So this was open to chamber members and non-chamber members alike. So some of the chamber benefits you have when you become a member are things like a website listing, as well as sometimes member features on our website. The chamber office here in the beautiful town of New London. We have rack cards, business cards, flyers, promotions, all of the fancy stuff here at the office. And we have numerous people who come through on a daily basis asking for referrals. So definitely that is a plus. Day trip destinations on the radio program, which you're going to hear soon, some details about. On Yankee Chronicles, some chamber member features. Also social media shares and posts about your happenings and activities. We have newsletters that go out, which all of our content from those newsletters comes from our members directly. We have member e-blast opportunities for about $50. You can do a individualized newsletter to our entire email list. We are doing things like discounted advertisements. Right now, we're working on one for the late summer, early fall with Yankee Magazine for our chamber members. And of course, our regional information guide. So that's a great resource that is put across the state, all the welcome centers, the airport in Manchester. It's literally everywhere. It's got legs on its own and it walks around. That is one of the resources people use quite frequently. So we're going to kick things off with our first panelist, Matt Cross, the general manager for the local radio station here. And I'm going to bring him over here, and then I'm going to actually share the WNTK website for everyone to take a look at. So I will go ahead and do the share. Matt, if you'd like to get started.
All right. Everyone hear me?
I think so. We're good.
All right. I apologize you can't see my face, but it's not any huge loss, trust me. So I just wanted to, just talk a little bit about radio today for anyone that's, unfamiliar, maybe tried it in the past, isn't sure If it's something that they, wanted to, reinvestigate, or, if they've wondered if things have changed over the course of, the last however many years. As you know, radio's, it's a traditional advertising medium like print or TV. It's been around for a long time. And that's certainly not to say that, it's one of those ones that, is, kind of lost its touch over the years. Radio, like any business, has really kind of, moved forward as with the times, and, and remained relevant in the marketing world. It's no longer just AM and FM bands. For example, with WNTK, we have a Facebook page with, thousands of followers, so we can keep them up to date with local news and events and anything that's important to them. We also have podcasting. For example, the show that Ashley and I do, Day Trip Destinations, that's available for podcast on demand at any time, as is a lot of our local programming. Peter St. James, we have in the mornings from 9 to 10. We also have a couple shows on the weekend. If any of you are familiar with Rich and Woody and the beautiful train wreck that is the Valley Buzz, but we have all of that available on demand. We also have an app. It's free on both the Apple and Droid marketplaces, so you can download that. Listen anywhere, anytime, anywhere you are, anywhere that has internet or cell signal. Anyway, so with these things, we really try to stay relevant to listeners. Follow the trends that they're utilizing. Podcasting is obviously a big thing that's kind of competing with radio these days. So getting involved with that, and keeping the local audience here is really what's important. Local, we all live and die by local these days. I'm not saying anything that none of us aren't aware of, but that's really what WNTK tries to focus on. As often as I can do local programming and really bring things home, that's really imperative to what our mission statement is in large part. We really want to bring everything to this community, the Lake Sunapee Upper Valley regions between WNTK and WUVR. You guys remember the ice storm from a couple decades ago when, the entire town was without power, and we had to, have an emergency generator, but, we were able to get the messages out to the people in the community that were incredibly important to them. Services that were open, places, people that could help in times of need. People were out without power and supplies for days. So that crucial local information and providing local content is really what makes WNTK stand out among competition. A lot of people question, does radio work for me? And sometimes people have tried it in the past. And it hasn't necessarily worked out for them. And really, the answer there is just talk to me about it. It doesn't. One format is not the same as the other. So, for example, if you have a senior living facility and you advertise on a station that does modern rock music and caters primarily to teens and people in their 20s, you're probably not going to get a great result from that because you're catering to people that are 18. With WNTK, for example, our audience tends to be more in the age range of 35, 45 up to 65, 70. So we really hit that middle and older demographic that would be the children or the clients themselves of something like a senior living facility. So format is a huge thing. So if radio hasn't worked for you in one medium, you can't necessarily say it wouldn't work in another. It's certainly worth a conversation at the very least. The other big thing I get a lot of the time is pricing. A lot of people are concerned that, radio across the board is just incredibly expensive and out of their budget. Generally not the case. Certainly there are stations across the state where, they have huge, 50,000 watt signals, and they're able to cover half the state, and they can, we're a smaller signal, but our pricing reflects that as well. We cover the Lake Sunapee Upper Valley, into Vermont a little bit, up into the Lakes region, Franklin, down towards the Concord line and everything. So, we hit a good spread of the state and over into Vermont as well. So we definitely have a large population of listeners. So for example, with Day Trip Destinations, if you want to be if you just wanted to have, for example, a live mention on the program itself, I have that available for $19 a week. I mean, that's how affordable it can be. It's definitely in the realm of doability. If you currently have other marketing and you want to supplement it with radio, that's certainly something you can do, and it's not going to destroy your advertising budget by any means. Me personally, with WNTK specifically, I'm very low stress when it comes to selling. If you're interested in marketing, that's something I can certainly talk to you about. I think, as any of my current clients can attest, I'm very friendly, very upbeat. I'm not going to be that used car salesman-esque type guy that's going to just try to beat you into the ground and just force you into something that's not going to work for you. I'll have an honest conversation with you and honestly, I mean, there have been times where, if it doesn't seem like a good fit, then I'll just say, yeah, you might, your money might be spent better elsewhere. But if it is a good fit, then, we'll give it a shot. But I mean, it's certainly worth the conversation at the very least. We can just talk, see if it's a good fit for you. And really, I just like to get to know about, the local businesses, what they're doing, and really kind of see if it's a good match, what we could do, write a campaign, commercial campaign. And the other thing a lot of people are worried is, well, I've never done radio, so I don't know if, I don't know if I can record. I don't know if I like my voice. I don't know if I like, there's plenty of reasons people, come up with as in regard to, not necessarily wanting to do radio. Most of them are really just not non-points. I mean, it's, if you don't want to record with your voice, you can have someone else record it. If you want to just, if you're worried about, writing copy, again, not a problem. I can write a creative campaign for you. So really all of that work is really, taken out of your hands. I mean, that's really my job as the radio marketer, is really kind of just saying, okay, here's what I think you should do. Here's what a budget that I think will work for you. Here's a message that I think will resonate with listeners. And we take it from there. It's really a conversation, and certainly one worth having, with radio being what it is today. I mean, especially in the last year with COVID, I mean, I know a lot of people, there's statistics showing that a lot of people really came back to local radio, that may have, kind of, moved on a little bit over the past year, just in terms of, really bringing it home, and, just giving them that local information that they need. Local radio is invaluable in that respect. And so are other mediums locally. I'm certainly, obviously I'm pitching for radio, but, Greg at YCN and the Shopper and all of our other local mediums are certainly very beneficial and useful marketing strategies for businesses in the area. But if you would like to, be a sponsor of WNTK or Day Trip Destinations is a great one, just because it not only, gives you an outlet for marketing, but it also is supporting a local show that focuses on local businesses, promotes what they do, their community involvement. And it's really just a very cohesive, very local program that really focuses on what makes our region great and all the great things that people are doing, not just in terms of selling their products or services, but all the community outreach that they do. And, so it's really just a great, cohesive culmination of everything that's great in the region. So that's my piece.
Awesome. How can people get in touch with you if they'd like to learn more?
So they can get in touch with me. The best way is email, which is, well, there's two. One is apparently is very spammy, but I will. So it's Matt, just MATT at WNTK.com. For some reason that doesn't work great, so I will say my Gmail one, which always works, which is radioshoppersales@gmail.com. So radioshoppersales@gmail.com. You can also call me on my cell, which is 617-999-2430. So those would be the best two ways. radioshoppersales@gmail.com, 617-999-2430.
Awesome. And people can check out WNTK.com to learn more as well.
They can. Yeah, they can go to They can go to
Yep.
WNTK.com. We have a day trip destinations page specifically. So if you want to listen to the show and just kind of get a feel of what it's about, you can do that right there. The most recent episode's always on that page, as long as our sponsors. So if you sponsor the program, we also put a banner ad up for your business. And also, if you forget my email or cell phone, you can also just click on the contact tab, and that will have my information there as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Matt. We really
Thank
appreciate
you.
you taking the time to let us know about radio advertising.
Certainly.
I like radio advertising because it's kind of like a captive audience, right? So when you're in your car and 99.7 is on my radio and I learn about the weather, I learn about what's happening in the morning, and it's just kind of, it's there. So, I hear all of those advertisements from our local businesses too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We're going to switch gears over now to Mark Belden, who works with Echo Communications, which many people know, the Kearsarge shopper. So we're going to go over to Mark, and I'm going to pin your screen, good sir.
All right, can everybody hear me?
And
Yeah.
I think we can hear you. Excellent.
All right.
And do you need to screen share, Mark?
I'm fine.
Okay. All right. Go ahead when you're ready.
All right. So Echo Communications is a commercial printing and mailing company. Most people know us as the publishers of the Kearsarge Shopper, which we design, print, and mail ourselves in New London. So I'll start out talking about that. The Kearsarge Shopper, most of you know it, most of you know the details, but for those of you who don't, is direct mailed weekly to everyone in the area. The area consists of 20 towns, centered around New London, Sunapee, Newbury, over to Grantham and Newport in the west and north, Danbury, Andover in the east, and then Hopkinton, Kentucky in the south. A total of over 21,000 homes. We estimate 2 readers per home, roughly, so 42,000 readers per week. Advertising rates start at $25 for a personal ad, which is basically a business card sized ad, $37 for a business ad of that size, which is a 1/16 page. And rates go up from there. That would be a black and white ad. Rates go up from there to $400, $450 for a full page black and white ad, $1,000, $1,100 for a full page color ad, and basically anything in between there we can do. Most advertisers don't do color all the time, but would tend to kind of alternate color in for special events and things like that. Probably our most popular, most common ad would be a quarter page black and white ad. That's about $100 per week, and works out to roughly 1/2 of 1 cent per household. So it's very inexpensive advertising to reach a lot of people in our area. And even if you're advertising to a more specific area, like a town, like the town of New London or Sunapee, where there are 3,000, 3,500 people, that still works out to something like 3 cents per household. So it's still very, very inexpensive to reach. And then you get everybody else basically for free. It's free to recipients, so they don't have to pay to get it. It just comes in their mailbox, the PO box. There's no editorial in it, so it's different from radio. Most other advertising mediums, it is strictly advertisements. There's no editorial, no content, just ads. Some of the local news is in there in the form of ads, like church bulletins and yard sales and birthdays and things like that, but it's in ad form. But so we don't have any of our own content in it. But the difference is that people pick it up and read it specifically for the ads. So that's a little different. And some people swear to it as for print anyway, as kind of the advertising Bible with a small b. The deadlines for advertising are Wednesdays at noon every week for the shopper that comes out. It goes in the mail the following Tuesday and is generally in people's hands that Wednesday. So deadline's Wednesday noon for the one that is in people's hands the following Wednesday. And we publish every week, 51 weeks a year. The exception is the week after Christmas and before New Year's. We don't publish a shopper that week. We do design for the ads. Most people kind of send in their design or have a design pre-imagined that we put together for them, but some don't, and we can do the design for them for those. I think that's, oh, here. For those of you that don't know it or haven't seen it, this would be the Kearsarge shopper, and it'll be in your mailbox Wednesdays, every Wednesday. Back to commercial printing and mailing. So as a commercial printing and mailing company, we do everything else printed and mailed as well as the Kearsarge shopper. So we can do everything from business cards to brochures, catalogs, newsletters. We do design of those as well. We do full service mailing in-house. The print quality is excellent. We receive awards every year for our print quality. This is a recent award it's glass. I don't know if you can see it or not, but one of the awards we received this year for excellent print quality. This is for the YMCA of Greater Nashua for a newsletter that we did from them. We received 6 awards this year, including 2 Pinnacle Awards for best in category, basically. And we've received over the past 3 years, 19 awards, 5 Pinnacle Awards for best in quality. 3 of those awards, 1 each year, has been for environmentally friendly printing. So we print those projects on 100% post-consumer recycled paper using soy-based inks and an alcohol-free production process, which is unique to Echo Communications. And again, we do everything from business cards to bigger projects, all excellent quality. We had digital for shorter run and offset printing for basically for longer run and more pages. Depending on the projects, we'll do what's most economic for the customer. We do on the mailing side, we do variable data, so you can personalize pieces with a salutation, or if it's a letter mailing, we do more elaborate kind of custom text strings based on different groups within your database. We work with a lot of nonprofit organizations, so we do fundraising appeals, and those would have specific information in them based on the recipient, previous history of donations or custom ask amounts, different text strings based on if they're a current donor or a lapsed donor or whatnot. And we can do we can get mailing lists, so we can get mailing lists for you if you don't maintain your own database based on demographics, geography, income levels, home values, things like that. We can mail to everyone in a town or a certain area, the every door direct mail, or we can even buy a list and use that kind of as an ancillary list to supplement your current mailing list. So if you want to grow your mailing list or do some experiments with different demographics or different areas, we can manage that for you. So within our area, I think a lot of people don't take advantage of direct mailing. Most people don't do it unless it's kind of a letter from a bank or a hospital, a customer letter. A lot of that's because of the Kearsarge shopper, which is direct mailed every week to everyone in the area, and it hits everybody anyway. But if you want to go outside the area, we can do that. Or if you want to target more specifically within the area, we can help you do that as well. Or if you just want to explore options, what would it cost to mail something to a certain group, or we want to mail to this many people in this area. give me a holler, give me a call, let me know what you're thinking. We can talk about some options and work on something to try and fit within your budget and meet your goals. And I know budgets are tight these days because of COVID and everything, but it's important, I think, for everybody to continue to market yourselves, continue to market your businesses, whatever the best means are for you. And hopefully the Kearsarge Shopper and brochures and other direct marketing will be a part of that mix.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mark. How can everyone connect with you?
So our website is www.echocominc.com, ECHOCOM1MINC.com. You can reach me by email at mark@echocominc.com. My phone number is 603-359-7355. And there's contact information on the website as well. And if you receive the Kearsarge Shopper, there's contact information in there. The main number for the Kearsarge Shopper is 526-6006. And you call that number directly. Heather or David would be happy to help you with ads and questions as well.
Perfect. I love when you can help with content creation. I think that's a big thing for a lot of businesses. They know what they want to get out there. They just don't necessarily have the time to make it happen. So thank you so much for chatting with us today, and all the registrants and individuals who are going to be watching this recording afterwards will get a one-page sheet with all the contact information for all the presenters today. So just so you know, you don't have to frantically write down phone numbers and emails. You'll get a little contact information sheet. So thank you so much, Mark. And we are going to head over now to the world of websites. So I'm going to go to Mr. Chuck Sink, and we're going to learn a little bit about websites, the landing page for most businesses, right?
That's right, Ashley. And thanks, everyone. It's been great to hear the presentation so far. I'm learning a lot, and I'm making a couple of connections, new connections as we speak. So anyway, my name is Chuck Sink. My company is Chuck Sink Link, the link to your customers. And we're a small marketing agency here in Sunapee. Just moved my home and business here last August. So I am going to talk about websites, one of my favorite topics, one of my favorite places to work and play. So if you'll bear with me for just a second. I was going to screen share, but it says host disabled. So
one moment, I will have you screen share. Just 1 second. All right, you should be good to go.
Okay, I hope you're seeing my large screen that says websites.
I'll let you know when we see it. It should be coming up now.
Are you seeing me or my second screen?
We are seeing you.
Okay, well, if I could share the screen, can you make it so that I can share it, Ashley?
You're good to go. You should be able to screen share now.
Perfect. Okay, I'm going to hit the share button. So how's that? Do you see my screen now?
We do, yes.
Okay. Apologize for the technical difficulty there. So websites are the only place on the internet where you command the message, you command your brand. So your website is a very, very important marketing communication piece. Not every business has a website, but most do today. Do you need one? Probably. Do people visit your website when you have one? Going back to the old Dirty Harry and Clint Eastwood, well, do they, punk? My point there is, of course, people visit your website. We do, your customers, your audience. I'm going to be checking out, I've been to WNTKs. I'm going to go to the Echo Communications very shortly to learn more. So people go there to learn about your entity. We do visit your website. We want to know what you say specifically about yourself And, it's also important to include testimonials, but you have to control the message. It's your responsibility to communicate what your brand stands for, what it is authentically, and your website is the very best place to do that. What you say about yourself does say an awful lot. Okay, so that's the reason you really need one, and you need to put a lot of energy into making it great, because online, it's the only space that you and only you control. Every other online space, whether it's your Facebook, your LinkedIn page, there are so many different sites now that you can use to put out content, and to even put out some branded content that looks pretty good, but you do not control the message, nor the structure, nor much other than what they allow you to put up. So have your own website. It's your information hub, and it's where your brand lives. So you've got to get that first impression right. The homepage where people land first, if they just find you based on your domain, that's what they're going to see first. And that's the best opportunity to tell them what you really stand for in just one visual glance. Within seconds, they should understand what type of business you are. So you have to get right to the point, and then you have to stay on message and provide a navigation path that's simple and logical so people can find the information they're looking for. And then you want to keep offering more information. You want to make your website a dynamic place where the information is changing and being refreshed and renewed, so that people will want to come back and see what's going on with you and your business. So I'm hoping all this is resonating so far. And then one of the last points before I get into some examples is to, when you design a website, and I'm sure some or most or maybe all of you know this, you can't just put it on a hosting plan for like $15 a month or $100 a year and let it sit there, because you know what? It's going to break. You're going to have links that don't work. You're going to have images that fail, and you may have a site crash. You may get malware. You have no idea what's going to happen to that website, because software expires, it upgrades, and all kinds of things happen on the back end about which most of us have no clue. Okay, so you need to put your website on a maintenance plan where it is monitored 24/7, where developers have immediate access to it, and actually take proactive steps to keep it functioning at peak performance, high-speed page loads, SEO, search engine optimization. We know about this stuff. So if you want to be found on the internet, you need to be on a good maintenance plan as well. So I would like to, if I could toggle my screen here, bear with me one more time, please. And I'm assuming that you can all see a website here. Are you seeing the auto parts? Okay, great. Here's one that I like to start with. This website, I can't say enough about how highly it performs and how much it is helping this company grow. We launched this site about 4 years ago now, and this is its current iteration, and it is just a great search engine machine. The traffic they're getting is in the tens of thousands per month now, and it's very good targeted traffic. This website is the only marketing vehicle that Bow Auto Parts needs to bust its revenue goals, and it's happening right now because we've been putting a tremendous amount of work in optimizing this website to be a lead generation machine. This is not an e-commerce website. This is a lead generation website, and it gets people to call them. They have online chat, which is very effective. They use Podium for that, and it's working out for them. But they get a ton of phone calls because you'll see a phone number and let our experts help you find the part. So I can't say enough about how well this website performs. And they just almost tripled their engagement with us last month because they're so excited to take it to another level and really grow the business more and more. So I want to take a look at a fairly complicated website. Now, this is Vitex Extrusions is in Franklin, and they are, for New Hampshire, a fairly large manufacturer. They do business in the range of about 100 million now annually in aluminum extrusions and machined aluminum parts. And the way they work with clients is somewhat sophisticated. So this is a sophisticated website. However, if you're in this industry, this website is very logical to help you navigate and find the kind of extrusions, look at the process, how are the processes engineered and designed, and what are some of the solutions? What about extrusion? What about fabrication and custom machining and laser and all the surface finishing? Basically, this website tells you that Vitex is more than an extruder. It's a contract manufacturer really for all things aluminum. Okay, so they work with automotive, they work with industrial, anything that needs an aluminum part pretty much. So this website has really taken off over the years, and this is its second iteration. I want to show you two quick construction websites. Meridian is primarily a commercial builder, but they've developed a great niche in high-end lakefront homes, residential. So they've decided to divide their navigation very easily to bring you right to the work. And if you go to residential, you get a sense that this is a company that builds homes for people who enjoy the lake life here in New Hampshire. And there's a quick gallery up front, but then there's a gallery which is really for featured projects where you can drill down into some great photography. Now, the exterior shots of this home are really something else as you navigate through and get to see some of the unique building features that these craftsmen are able to accomplish. So I can't say enough about Meridian's quality, and their commercial. They have another navigation once you get into the site. We made it very easy for people to get to where they're going, and their commercial portfolio is just as impressive in some of the projects they're doing. And we bring you right to featured projects that they would like you to look at, like the New Hampshire State Library, which was a historical rehab, essentially, that brought some of the original beautiful detail back to the building. So it's just a nice way to showcase the work, this site. And I'll go just a quick before and after, if I may. This is the current website for a netting manufacturer in Connecticut. That basically we took over this site from a previous agency, and we've been adding some content here and there, but this is a very difficult website to navigate, and the information is just all over the place. There's a few good aspects to it, like these tiles here, because it brings you right to netting, but a lot of this talks about so much ancillary stuff, and the pages are really quite they're not very rewarding once you get there, a page of text. So we're taking this website into a new design, which I'll show you. This is not launched yet, but this is their new website, and they want to go right to the netting. Not so much information about netting or, about what netting is, but let's get to the netting, whether it's construction netting, industrial netting, amusement, sports, home. And you can see they have a nice, elegant video that kind of visually interests you right when you land on the page. And you can see that this company has some depth of engineering and design and so forth. And so we have secondary navigation tiles to bring people just to the netting. What type of netting do you need? Okay, so this categorizes it for you. And if you're into construction safety netting, you can go right to a landing page that has some good calls to action, some good guides here. The call to action right up front. And this is John, the netting guru here. So he's featured throughout the site. So that's about it. I don't want to get over time in my presentation here. I'm not really timing it, but I hope I haven't gone over. And I guess the point is your website is important, and you need to work with a professional if you want your website to perform and bring you business. Unless you're good at design and development and marketing yourself, which is pretty time consuming, I can tell you. But if you want a website that's going to bring you new business and grow your business, probably good to work with a professional. There's a lot of good ones out there. There are several members of this chamber and other area chambers you can check out. And if you like what you've heard and would like to contact me, my email is chuck@chucksync.com. That's all you have to remember there. And my website is chucksync.com. So you can check out some of my work there and some of what we do and testimonials, and contact me if there's anything we can do to help. And I'm just happy to answer questions, and you can pick my brain.
Perfect. Thank you, Chuck. There is honestly, the world of websites is intriguing, and we could do a whole seminar just on website, because you're right, it's the face of a business, and it's really the first landing page people are going to see. So I'm highly encouraging everyone to reach out to Chuck if you have any questions. His contact information will be listed on your informational sheet, and we'll make sure that people can contact you and ask all the questions they need to, because it's definitely, if you're not in it, it's definitely a world that's very complicated. All right, we're going to move over to Julia Whitney, who's going to talk to us a little bit about social media. So this is going to be an interesting conversation, because this is really the world we're kind of living in, right?
Oh, absolutely. And like you said about websites, we could talk websites all day. We could talk social media all day. So I think at this point, we're all, super familiar with what channels exist. For the purpose of this, small time frame, I'll focus on the two that I think are most approachable and manageable for business owners, which are Facebook and Instagram. They're both integrated, so you can post on one and it'll cross post on the other, which is super, super helpful if you're on the fly. So one super important thing with social media and creating your online persona is setting your personality. You want to basically take that mission statement from your business and apply it to social media. For instance, if you pride yourself on being great with customer service, then share some reviews that you've gotten on your social media page. If you're a family-owned business, then share some behind-the-scenes photos and videos of your day-to-day operations. Or if you've just celebrated a milestone with your business, then share that. You just set that personality of what your business is. And another thing that goes hand in hand with that is the tone of your posts. Do you want to be a friendly, social media page? Do you want to be informative, business professional? For instance, I work for New London Hospital, and our Facebook page is very informative, especially throughout a COVID pandemic, providing real-time updates from our president and CEO or mask guidelines at the facility, anything like that. Our goal is to be informative. So if you just think ahead on that and then keep that consistent as you continue to post. And then, of course, content is king, content is key. But it really does not have to be super complicated. I know it sounds complicated, but one great thing to do is look at your best performing posts that you have. That's the post with the most likes, shares, comments, and see if you can replicate that. Not to have the same types of posts all the time, but just see what works best for your business. So for instance, if you had a Facebook post or an Instagram post that was announcing a new product or service, can you do that on a weekly or a monthly basis? If you have something new to announce, that's, low hanging fruit of content that you already have, that you're already probably photographing or videoing for your business anyways. So just use that on social media. Another, easy way to promote on social, especially in communities like ours, is working with other small businesses. So if you have a vendor that's another small business, or you want to do a giveaway with another business, pull them in, collaborate, work together. I think that's what small communities like ours really, really do like to see. And another thing is you don't necessarily, and I could get in trouble for saying this, you don't necessarily have to post every single day on social media. Content is key, consistency is key, but you don't feel like you have to pump out content just because you think it's expected. One caveat I will say is if you already are posting every day and you're finding that to be successful, you know, if you're a restaurant posting daily specials, your customers are looking out for that. So please, by any means, do not stop. But you don't have to spend all of that time every single day. However, there are tricks that I recommend using. For instance, the scheduling feature on Facebook, which is now linked to the Instagram. If you have a business Instagram page, you can link them both. Is scheduling will save you so much time. I use it all the time. I've used it for years as a feature. You really only need 10, maybe 30 minutes a week to just sit down, schedule out your content for the week, and hit schedule now, and it'll go out automatically, which I cannot recommend more. And then another powerful tool that Facebook and Instagram both have is your insights, which can sound super intimidating. It's a lot of data, it's a lot of graphs, but you can really break down when you're reaching your customers. If you go to your insights page, it'll break down the exact times in time of day or days that people are going to your page and reacting to your posts. So you can take that information when you're scheduling. So say folks are looking at your page mostly at 5 p.m., then schedule your post for 5 p.m. That's when you'll hit them right where they are. And another really approachable method is Facebook advertising. You can use this in conjunction with your local advertising, which all these fine folks are talking about today. But it's really pennies on the dollars, and you can narrow down. If you have an event that you're promoting, promoting that event on Facebook is super cost effective as well. And then I would be remiss to not talk about how videos on social media truly just are the best and reach people pretty widely. I think they recommend it's about a minute for Facebook and 26 seconds for Instagram are super approachable for folks. But no matter how long your video is, that first 10 seconds of the video is what you need to grab attention of your customer. So video, I know, can probably sound very overwhelming and intimidating, but just look at it as you want to tell a story, and what is that story that you want to tell? And just roll with it, have fun with it. Social media is all about having fun, if that's the tone you choose for your business. If you're showing behind the scenes photos or videos, that's what social media is for. If you want to go more clever and tie into pop culture and the happenings that are going on, take a look at TikTok and Instagram Reels. Those are super short videos meant to just attack the customer and just go for it. If you don't want to do TikTok, have a third social media page. Instagram Reels is very, very similar and is integrated again with Facebook. So you get a bang for your buck there. And then you all are probably familiar with stories as well. So there's Facebook stories and Instagram stories. It's a little newer on Facebook, but it's been around on Instagram for a little bit longer, and is a great way to not cloud up your actual feed of your social media feed. So on Instagram, you can post many short videos and photos in a row without clouding up your feed. And then the cool part too is that you can save them afterwards. So if you're showing off a new product and you want to showcase it without making a full minute and a half video that'll live forever on your feed, you can go through, save it, and refer to it later for customers. So an example of an Instagram reel that's so simple, but for some reason I'm intrigued by them, is small business owners, they say, come package an order with me. So they have, you know, their inventory, they show you, go through the steps of packaging that order, sending it out, slapping a label on, set it to some fun music, and then it lives on their feed. And I don't know why I'm so intrigued by them, but I think it's just a fun behind the scenes look of how small businesses, you know, reach their customer and get that product out. So if you have any, I'll stop there because like I said, I can go on for literal forever about social media. But I think your takeaways today from me are just set your personality on your social media, what you want to accomplish. Your content does not have to be complicated. Just meet yourself where you're at. You're probably taking pictures of your business, maybe your day-to-day operations every day anyways. Use that. That's what people want to see. And then schedule your posts. Trust me, schedule your posts. It will save you so much time. Your homework to look at your insights, to see where people are at, and then integrate that stories and video features. I think it sounds like a lot of work, but if you just sit down, you do it once, you can just replicate it moving forward, especially in the summer season, when people are itching to get out now, in a post-COVID era, and especially in our beautiful area. So.
That's awesome. And I do think too, people panic a little bit because there's so many options for different social media channels. So they go, if I'm not on one of them, I'm missing customers. Really just try and narrow it in to what you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
You don't have to go all out. You don't have to be on every single platform, you know?
Exactly. And you don't have to post crazy content. You don't have to make, you know, big advertisements to post on Facebook every day. People just, especially for small businesses, they want to, you know, visit you because you are a small business. So show them why you're different and what your business is all about.
Right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Julia. And your information will be on our contact sheet. So if anyone has any questions, you know, and they want to ask about Instagram stories or something, they'll know who to contact.
Yep, exactly. Happy to help.
Thank you. So we're going to switch gears now and we're going to head over to Scott. And Scott's going to talk to us a little bit about the world of promotional goods. Hi, Scott.
How you doing? The very exciting part of this whole day is starting now. I'm just kidding. But
people like things. People
like items. It is a very important part of marketing. Everything we talked about today between radio and print and websites and social media, you know, promotional products is yet another part that really is a great cost-effective way to bring attention to your business and promote your business and in turn grow your business. I'm from Dado Print. I'm in Warner. I've been in business about 10 years. I was in the printing and packaging field for the 20 previous years before starting this business. And I started initially doing just printing and then quickly brought promotional and apparel into the mix. And I'm probably doing 90% promo and apparel and 10% printing at this point. Still love printing though. Love the smell of inks. Mark can probably relate to that. So the toluene is just amazing. But anyways, a lot of people contact me and or refer to me as the swag guy. And I'm like, when I hear swag, it makes me think that people really are kind of underestimating the power of a promotional product. You know, I'll throw some weird, crazy numbers at you, but you know, 8 out of 10 people out there, consumers, have at least one, as many as 10 promotional products probably they're using on a daily basis right now. And of that, 60% of those people keep them for a couple of years. And a lot of times after that couple of years is gone, they don't throw them away. They give them to somebody else. So it's like people can't throw things away that have logos on it. It's crazy. I end up doing it now because there's just so much around. But the other important thing with those promotional products, if you get it, it's an 85% chance that you're all actually going to end up doing business with that person. These aren't numbers I made up. They're from the promotional products industry of data that I've read. But the point is, a little pen could be a lot more than you think. So, you know, you go to Sugar River, you get a pen every time you go through there. They're not necessarily gaining business from that, but they're definitely, you know, it's more about the customer loyalty at that point. It's like, hey, I just get my pen from there every time. But the cost of promoting yourself with promotional products is a lot less than you think too. You get 500 pens for, $200. And I say pens, there's obviously thousands of things out there, but, coffee cups and everything. But the point is, what I try to put through, where I'm thinking of when I'm selling promotional products to someone, I want to pick an item that someone's going to use, not they're just going to take and chuck away. Because if it's not going to be used, what's the point? Stress balls are not a big push for me. The only time I touch a stress ball is to take it and put it into the garbage. I don't see the point of stress balls, so I'm never going to sell stress balls to anybody. But the other end of promotional products is the higher end too, because you can use it for employee gifts, recognition. People love free stuff. That's the bottom line. Have you ever went to a Manchester Monarchs game? It turns into a zoo when they start shooting free T-shirts up into the things. Everyone wants a free T-shirt, but on that free T-shirt, it's a billboard of whoever that advertiser is, and if that gets in front of the right person, the right time, who knows? I mean, that's obviously kind of marketing that's just kind of like blindly being done. You never know what's going to happen, but there's ways to do it in a calculated way as well. So there's a local company. They do wells, water treatment and whatnot, and they order for me carpenter pencils. I was like, why would you get carpenter pencils from me? But they go to all the job sites of the local areas and the builders, and they hand out these carpenter pencils, and they use them on the site and stuff. And sure enough, that the question comes up is like, hey, who should I use to do my well services? And they're like, I know a guy, and they get the referral because of that. And the other thing, people are more likely to do business with companies that they get referred to instead of they don't know anything about. So that's just another, I don't know, cool tool that a promotional product has to offer. I'll show you this kind of cool thing. Can you see it?
Yeah, what is that?
This is a Bluetooth speaker.
Ah.
So no, you're not going to give these out at the drive-through at the bank, but something like this is something, an employee would love as a recognition. Or maybe you're just going to get maybe you're a realtor and you sold a house and like, hey, here's a nice thank you for using me as your realtor. You don't think that realtor is not going to tell like 10 other people like, hey, look what these guys did for me and get more business. So there's just so many different ways to use promotional products. What I have to compete with nowadays is like all the online. It's like, I just go to swag.com and I get my stuff, which, that's fine. But what I like to bring to the table, or what I think I bring to the table is, I look at the overall branding of a company and the big picture. So, and the other part of this, I actually understand the graphics end of it. So a lot of people like take their screenshots and they send it in and they're like, here's my artwork. It doesn't work like that. So it's not going to work out very well. If you have certain brand colors, if you're blue and red, you're not going to do lime green pens. It wouldn't make any sense, for example. So I like to look at the big picture and think of different ideas of how to come up with a good concept to get, return on your investment. And then, Mark's in the printing end of things. So you could do multimedia programs too. You could do a postcard saying, here's the first 15 people or 20 people to respond gets a coffee mug, and then have another, contest beyond that. And of those 15 people, the first person to order gets a sweatshirt or something like that. So again, people love free stuff. And as a result, promotional products are very, very powerful. You need to call me now. Every business should be promoting themselves with promotional products at some level, for sure. I'm not sure if I used 10 minutes there or not, but I think
You were close. How would they get in touch with you, Scott?
Well, you can reach me at scott@dadoprint.com, which is, I have to spell it every time, DADO print.com. Website's the same. And my number is 603-219-5216. And give me a call if I'd love to help you out.
I love it. You are right. Everyone loves a good freebie. And I will say we have a little basket here at the office where when chamber members bring in their rack cards or their business cards, they bring in, you know, maybe some pens or magnets or whatever they might have. And it gets in the little basket, and I refill that basket pretty much every couple weeks, because the people who come in, oh, are these free? Is this a pen? Oh, is this a koozie? And they love to take those items. And it's not necessarily that they're looking for that particular business, but they see it and they use it. It really works well. Those items walk quite a bit. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Scott.
It's all about exposing your business and getting it out there. And that's the best way to do it.
Exactly. And pens, you're right. Pens are the way to go, because no matter where you go, you're always in need of a pen. All right, we're gonna head over to Greg, who's gonna chat with us a little bit about what the world of TV advertising looks like.
Well, I'll make mine short, because 90% of what Matt said about his radio station, I can also say about our TV operations. What I think is critical for us, and not just radio and television, but for all of us, is understanding that the local media define who the community is. Without media, somebody coming into the area would never know what the heck this place is about, you know, other than the beauty that we have, et cetera, et cetera. But I have to point out that in the advertising reality, papers have been cutting back coverage because they've been losing their advertising locally. I think that we recognize the fact that Kearsarge sports coverage has been eliminated from the Concord Monitor because they've shrunken their geographic area, because they don't have the advertising base to put the sports reporters out there anymore. So I think when it comes to who we are, we have to consider the fact that we can lose our identity by losing our local media. People ask me, what's YCN, and I mean, it's like, well, what's ABC? And YCN is it's a brand. It's a brand that denotes local. It's existed since 1979. It's been in a lot of geographic areas. We've been in this area since 1995 in some form or another. We've built 3 TV stations. Recently, we sold 3 TV stations. But the local programming we still have here, and hopefully, as we move into the future, we will continue with. The two bookends of our programming are Game of the Week, which is local high school sports, and Yankee Chronicle, which is our local who, what, where, and when show of the Kearsarge Lake Sunapee region. And there are different ways that you can participate in these things. Some of them are free. Some of them do cost money, but they help build your branding. We have host locations for Yankee Chronicle. For $500, we come into your location. We shoot 2 shows. You get 2 5-minute interviews, 1 in each one, and we build your image into that product for those 2 weeks. We promote it in the Intertown Record. We promote it in the Shopper, and those segments that we do with you are available for you to put on your website, for you to put on your social media pages. And we also catalog them and have them on our site forever. And as was said about, keeping your website alive, I think our website has kept us alive, that we've gone through changes between cable companies dropping our services, this, that. The website is something that we own, we control the message on, and we have every one of our programs there, and every day a new show pops, or a new segment pops up in there. You can go back and watch your kids play basketball from 10 years ago. So all of that exists on our website. And what we've integrated into the website now one of the things we learned from COVID is that we're now doing all our local sports live on our website. And as an example, during this past season, we were averaging about 1,000 viewers per game. And we peaked out during tournament time at around 1,600 viewers, or I shouldn't say viewers, homes tuning in. And, people can, with smart televisions, people don't have to watch Comcast. They can, as long as they've got a good internet connection, they can watch our channel right there. So, as I said, the spectrum for Yankee Chronicle is hosting. You can also, North Cape Design sponsors the chamber segment on featuring local businesses. So you can build your brand around a segment. If you have something interesting or an event happening, give me a call, send me an email. That's where we build our segments. Our show is 100% local. And I mean, Mark kind of minimizes the amount of editorial in their product, but the reality is their product is full of editorial because it's all local. And I'm going to close. I mean, you can buy our game of the week. You can get onto things for as little as $25 a week, and the range goes up from there. But about 10 years ago, I was hired by a company, and we do television production. I want to plug our production capabilities too. But we were hired by a company to videotape a couple focus groups, one for commercial and one for residential. And after both of these sessions, the woman who was conducting them was from St. Louis. And she said, what's the shopper? Because every person in both of those groups, I can't say that they identified us as frequently, but it was as he said, the Bible. I think that if we want to keep local content and keep a local identity, we've got to keep the WNTKs, the YCNs, the shoppers in business, because when they're gone, and I think part of that, we have to talk to the consumers and remind them that if they can buy it locally, don't, just because of the ease of Amazon, don't go there. I mean, I buy off of Amazon. There are just some things that I can't get locally and can't get quickly enough. But if you can buy it locally, that's the way we're going to sustain our communities, and we're going to be able to continue to support our local Little Leagues, our New London Barn players, when all that local revenue dries up, those things aren't going to be here. So I'll close on that note.
I like that. That's wonderful. It's a really great way to wind up, because you are right. All of our media channels really kind of define our area. And I never really thought of it before you mentioned that, because really that's how people know what's going on in our area. That's how people stay tuned in to all the happenings of the businesses, unless you're connected to one particular business or another. So that's a really good way to put that. I like that, Greg. Thank you so much for everyone to pop on today and give us a little bit of feedback about maybe the world that you live in terms of media and marketing. We will have a contact sheet so everyone can reach out to any of the presenters from today's little workshop webinar. And just to note as well that these are not the only advertisers in the area. There are others as well, but these are the ones that were able to join us today for this little session. And always reach out and connect with your local chambers wherever you may be, because we are going to have probably the names of people and the ways that you can connect with these advertisers. And what might make the most sense for you, right? Small businesses versus larger businesses. There's a lot of different opportunity here, as we heard today. And it's not always expensive. I think that's a big thing to point out too. People get a little nervous when they talk about advertisement, because there's always big dollars that seem to be attached to that. If you keep those dollars local, you're going to be able to get a big bang for your buck. So all of the presenters here today did a great job talking to us a little bit about how we should reach out to those particular businesses and promote ourselves, promote what we have going on. So we will reach out with the contact sheet for interested for the registration for the registered individuals and the interested people for the workshop today. And then just keep in mind that our next summer education series workshop is going to take place in June. And it's going to be all about travel and tourism and how to take advantage of that for your particular business. And other than that, we want to say thank you so much. And thank you to all of our presenters today. And we're really excited to continue this summer education series. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to our presenters. Thank you so much.